Hello, cats and kittens. Oriwa Jose, Yoroshiku. Welcome back to Manga Mondays. I'm not going to sing that song no more. Manga Monday. Right. It's Manga Mondays, and I'm here with my review of One Piece Chapter 1022, The Stars Take the Stage. And this is from the official translation. This chapter gives you the feel that the undercards are pretty much done. The stars take the stage. We're getting to the final fights. And to get a bit of a rundown, the narration lets us know where we are in the overall battle. Started off 30,000 versus 5,000. But, we had Order 66 come in. That cut the odds a little bit down. We're not given an exact count at this point, but it says that the gap slowly closed thanks to Atama and Order 66 and the efforts of the samurai and the pirates. So the odds are closer. We don't know exactly how close, but the odds are closer. And we see that the Flying Six, not counting the ex-Drake, where is he? I forget. Drake was fighting a pool. We're not counting him into the Toby Ropo at this point, although he is a member, but he's not functioning as a member of the Toby Ropo. So, all right, he's off the table. That's fine. But I would like to see what he's up to. Anyway, last I seen him, he was fighting the pool. But we got Who's Who, Black Maria, Page One, OT Sasaki all out. I'm kind of suspicious of that. For some reason, I feel like it was a little too easy. Not to say that the fights were all easy, and everybody didn't really get a fight. Usopp hasn't really actually fought anybody. Brook was support to Robin. Nami got in her licks. Chopper, technically, I don't think fought anybody, but so be it. The Toby Ropo out of the picture, apparently, at this point. So that we move on to there. We also see that 15 minutes, only Gashima is going to reach the flower capital, at which point you assume that Kaido's going to drop it on the flower capital, killing hundreds of whatever people that are there. That segues into the fight between Raizo and Fukurokuju. A battle between the two ninjas. All right. Which is not of high importance to me, but it does carry a bit of the narrative to the story. First of all, a little side, it's not issue, but the little side deal is Fukurokuju, whatever, yeah. So both are using ninjutsu. So Shadow Clone, Kagebushi no Jutsu is from Raizo, where he makes clones. Fukurokuju uses some with his earlobes are like limbs and they're fighting, whatever. The thing that I found kind of funny is that Fukurokuju susses out the real clone of Raizo because he speaks. Now, I'm more impressed with Naruto clones because they're all autonomous and they can speak and do whatever they want. You would never know which one is the real one until it's too late, which is kind of the point of making shadow clones, but that's where it is. It would have been kind of cool to me is if he struck the one that spoke and then he does the poof, and then appears behind him and, behind Fukurokuju and then attacks him, but that's neither here nor there. That's done. The main thrust of their appearance here is Fukurokuju is making the argument that, the ninja serve the shogun, so he's not being a traitor, he's just doing what he's supposed to do. And Raizo's thing is, we're not fighting in Odin's name just because of duty. This is something that we decided to do of our own free will, which kind of puts me to mind, for some reason, Henry V every subject's duty is to the king, but every subject's soul of his own is his own. Not the same. It's not making the same argument. It's not apples for apples, but that just came to my mind because Henry V is hype. Anyway, so there's that. Next we come to Killer Hawkins, which is another interesting fight because Hawkins' power is kind of like Law's, that it's kind of broke when you think about it. Because if he could, I'm going to assume that he couldn't. The reason why he sided with Kaido, first of all, is that one-on-one he can't beat him. That's easy. And I'm thinking the reason he can't beat him is because he can't use his jutsu or his devil fruit on Kaido, probably for the same reason that Law can't use it on Kaido and Big Mom. Something to do with their hockey. Because if he could, man, he just put his put the whammy on the flying six, fight Kaido, and he'd take out his own men and do whatever, you know what I'm saying, or fight the flying six and use Kaido as one of his strong men and have them kill him if they could. But he's durable anyway. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, Hawkins is actually using Kid as one of his strongmen. So if Killer attacks Hawkins, he's actually dealing death to his captain, which is brilliant. Okay. I guess that also tells us that kids, if it is an issue of hockey that prevents somebody like Hawkins from using his devil fruit against them, Kid is not of that level. However, I wonder if he could use it against Luffy, because Luffy now has advanced armament and advanced conqueror's hockey. I wonder if that will work on Luffy, or has he reached an elite level where Hawkins' ability wouldn't work on him? Either way, it seems kind of arbitrary as to who Hawkins can use as a strongman. I mean, he couldn't do anything with like the admirals, but that was back in Shabandi Archipelago. So I'm like I say, his power seems kind of broke, but there has to be like a limit as to who he can use it against and how and why and stuff like that. But we're not going to find out at this point. What we do know is that he is using Kid as one of his strongmen, and they're in the process of fighting Big Mom, which is trouble for them because Law and Kid are in the middle of fighting Big Mom. And if it's down to Law at this point, because Kid's taking damage, they're done. She's going to wipe them out and proceed to her double cross on Kaido, which I say is coming. I'm screaming from the hilltops, it's coming. She's going to shank him at some point. But that's another issue. Okay. And I find it interesting that Killer, upon finding out that, Hawkins plan, says, I like your style, which is interesting because the Kid pirates are supposed to be sadistic. And what Hawkins is doing is sadistic. He's basically torturing this man by saying, you fight me, you're going to either kill your captain or you're just going to lose because I'm going to kill you, one or the other. But it's like a psychological torture and a physical battle, whatever. But he's like, I like your style. I'm assuming he's saying that in the sense that that's sadistic, like something I would do or whatever. So that's actually a good subplot. I'm curious to see where that goes and how they can thwart him using Kid as a straw man. Law, maybe, I don't know if anything that Law can do can thwart that with his rooms. He can't switch. I'm assuming he can't switch who Hawkins uses as a straw man. If he did, it'd be cool if he switched it to Big Mom. But then at the same time, it wouldn't do Killer any good because he would have to know that happened. And there's no way to communicate to him communicate that to him. So that's a big mess. We have to see how that works out. From there, we go to the performance floor for the main thrust of this chapter, which is King, Queen, Zoro, Sanji dynamic. And we see the downside of Order 66. Finally. I mean, it's cool. It's cool that they were able to turn the tables and get some of those beast pirates. What were they, gifters or not? Anyway, the gifters or whatever they are. They get them to fight on their side, but now they're catching it now. I mean, because King and Queen, they having no mercy on them. They're just like, you the enemy now. We're gonna teach you a lesson. So that's the downside of Order 66. You get hypnotized or whatever by homegirl, and then you take a thrashing on the back end of it. So, cost of doing business, I guess. So that's cool. Marco, interesting at this point, that the beast pirates who've been enslaved by Tama are begging Marco for help. He's down at the moment, saying that he reached the limit of his stamina. And it's interesting that Sanji had attempted to fight them both, but in the unofficial translation, it made it sound like he was saying fighting the both of them was rough. Whereas in the official translations, he says two of them at the same time is too much. So small, slight difference, but kind of a difference. Here he's just saying, I can't, basically to me, he's saying, this is something that I can't do. It's out of the question. He tried it, but out of necessity, he tried it, but this is something that's out of the question for me. If he's saying it was rough, that would just be like, man, this is harder than I thought, but I can kind of manage. Anyway, that's just a thought. So at that point, another thing that I find interesting is that King basically puts a hit out on Zoro, which is kind of hype for Zoro at this point, because he's basically saying, don't let that man recover, because it'll be more trouble than it's worth. At least he's saying that it would be trouble if he did revive. So he's telling people straight out, find him and end him before whatever they're trying to do works, or whatever healing process they're trying to use on him works. But Sanji at the same time is sticking up for his boy. He's trying to draw the fire to himself. He goes in on Queen. He's been kicking him for the last few chapters. And while that's going on, my man Perro Sparrow is trying to take a cheap shot at Sanji, blaming him for this whole thing. If he hadn't, he never wanted to side it, and we know this for a while now. He never wanted to side up with the Beast Pirates. He can't stand them. He calls them creeps. But it's a necessity. Big Mom says we're doing this, so they have to do it. Now, he's going to snipe Sanji from a distance. This kind of takes me back to Whole Cake Island, where my man, where Katakuri attempted to snipe Sanji with one of his jelly beans, and Sanji ducked it altogether because of his haki, because it's observation haki. That was a dude who had advanced observation haki, shooting at it, trying to snipe somebody, and Sanji dodged. So I got that's kind of hype to me. So in my mind, I don't think Perro Sparrow would have hit him. That's just me. That's hate canon, whatever you want to call it. But I'm thinking he was not going to hit him. Nah, I don't see him hitting him. I think he would have dodged. But it doesn't matter because Nekomamushi comes and slumps him from behind. And at this point, I kind of feel sorry for Perro Sparrow because he's come. Nekomamushi has come to avenge Pedro. Technically speaking, I mean, Perospero didn't kill Pedro. Pedro sacrificed himself to save the crew. Cost of doing business. He didn't ask. That's not really on him, but whatever. I guess when one of your people dies, somebody got to catch it. So that person's going to be Perospero. So people have been caught between Wanda and little rabbit girl. They was trying to kill him on some revenge type nonsense, whatever. If that's what it's going to be, that's what it's going to be. It looked like Neko Momoshi's going in for blood. I don't see Perospero winning that fight. Okay, which brings us down to Zoro being targeted. He gets cornered by King. King's about to, do the deed with a fireball of some sort. I'm not surprised that Marco rises up and shields him from King's blast, because even though he was at the limit, at the edge of his stamina, Marco's whole thing is Phoenix, reviving. That's his whole deal. So that he had that one last block defense barrier in him is not a surprise to me. And then he abdicates the battle to Zoro and Sanji, which leaves us with that awesome double spread page, which is just, I need that as a poster. I got to put that on my wall. Sanji and Zoro going in and attacking them both. This is going to be hype animated. This is going to be absolutely hype. Yeah, I can't wait till that comes out. And then they make and then the final shot of their proclamation, and if they can win this battle, then they can get a glimpse, or a closer glimpse, that much closer to seeing Luffy as the Pirate King. That right there, for some reason, is kind of a red flag for me. Because this is going a little bit smoother than I thought it would. Because in this upcoming battle, Sanji has to get the W over Queen. I'm not just for the practical purpose of the Straw Hats win their battles. It's their book. So the Straw Hats are going to win. But Sanji, all through that fight with Nico Robin, he's been set up to get a big W. Because, Black Maria was running him down, and it's been known that, the Beast Pirates see Sanji as a joke because he begged Nico Robin for help. So he's being set up to get a big W off of Queen. And quite honestly, Zoro King is going to be hard, no doubt, but what can King, just practically thinking, what can King throw at Zoro that he hasn't taken to this point? He took a double attack from Big Mom and Kaido. What would you have to hit him with at this point, being that he's been revived, to put him down? I mean, good luck. I mean, yeah, I want to know how durable King is at this point, because we know how durable Zoro is. So what's it going to take to put Zoro down? What can King come up with? We know that Zoro can cut fire. He can cut just about everything else. So we just got to see how durable is King. And what's Zoro going to have to pull out to put King down? And Zoro is kind of on a ticking clock, because once that medicine that Miyagi and them treated him with wears out, he's going back on the IR. So it's kind of a race against time in a sense. So he's kind of been nerfed for this fight, to be honest with you, but we'll see. But the major fights are about to come up, because we know that it's going to be a minute before he's got 15 minutes before Onigashima gets to the Flower Capital, which means technically these fights on paper can't last that long. Yeah. But they can't be too fast. They can't be like no diff fights, because that's crazy, This is the highest order of opponents that they fought up until this point. So there has to be a struggle in here somewhere, but they're on a ticking clock. So again, great chapter, great action, great pace, beautiful double page spread at the end, all hype going into the next chapter, no break next week. So great chapter. Overall, it's a great chapter. Look forward to next week. Hopefully we go straight into these next two fights, probably Sanji first and then Zoro, and then graduate up until Luffy, but we'll see. Oda's going to do what Oda's going to do. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the chapter. Look forward to next week's. Until then, stay loose.